Welcome everyone to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is in preparation for trading on September 22nd, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. That trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. This is all for educational purposes only. If you have questions about your individual investment needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. Okay, as usual, we'll start off with the Forex Factory here. So in terms of Forex Factory, we had a lot of, just between yesterday and today, a lot of central bankers. We had Fed yesterday, we had RBA Governor Lau speaking. So Australian dollar dropped as a result of his speech. And then we have Bank of Japan come out with their stuff. And we had ECB President Draghi speaking. And in between, we had Donald Trump and Prime Minister Theresa May for UK. So it was full of politicians and central bankers. So as a result, there was volatility that we saw in the market, and we didn't see our normal moves that we would expect. So generally, when something big happens, like Fed announces that they are going to continue on with their interest rate hike and cut back on the balance sheet, normally you expect to see a continuation move. And we saw that with Canadian dollar when Bank of Canada raised rates, and we saw that with the British pound when Bank of England came out and said that essentially they are going to look at potentially raising rates in the future. So we did not see that type of, or actually let me rephrase that. We kind of saw half of that behavior with the Fed rate announcement yesterday. So we saw follow through in Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, but we did not see that for euro and British pound. So so right now markets are a little bit all over the place. So we have to be careful because markets are not doing exactly what we expect, or they're not following the norms because of all these different announcements and stuff. So just be careful, with this kind of stuff going on. So in terms of UK, Brexit will come to forefront now, or Brexit negotiations are going to come to forefront now. So going into Friday here, we have a lot of data coming out for both euro and British pound here. Well, there's a lot of data for Eurozone. We have ECB President Draghi speaking again, and we have Prime Minister Theresa May speaking again tomorrow. So with this, it can create volatility for both the euro and the British pound like we saw today. These comments are very, very important. So I highly recommend you guys make sure you're subscribing to the news feed, which is essentially the FX Pro. I use this news feed, FX Pro Squawk, and all you have to do is just set up an account with them, a demo account, and you'll get access to the news feed, and they will actually announce it whenever somebody's speaking or a comment or something comes out. They will actually announce it, and you don't have to go looking for the data. I just leave it on like a radio in the background, and anytime there's something, especially when I'm trading, anytime there's something important coming out, so you know what's going on, and have an idea of why the price may be moving as it is. So I highly recommend that. Going into Friday here, I am expecting volatility because of these one central banker and one prime minister speaking. So Brexit is the main topic for UK, because they are talking about raising rates. That has created more positivity in the British pound, and the data has been coming out positive. So overall, British pound has been showing strength, especially since Bank of England said that they could look at raising rates. So having said all of that, so expect that mostly in the London session. Going into the New York session, we just have the inflation data and core retail sales coming out for Friday here, and not much. We have, that's all we have. And then we do have in New Zealand, we have elections, but that should not have a big impact on anything else beside the New Zealand dollar. And most of that impact will likely be felt going into Monday. But there's nothing that is major or contentionary about the elections that's being talked about. So it wouldn't make that big a difference. So that's what we have for tomorrow. Let's take a look at the charts here. Okay, we'll start with the euro here. So euro right now, I would say we are in this type of range. Every time price comes into these bottom figures here, it didn't even get to the bottom all the way into the bottom here, which is kind of what we were looking at. It has bounced off of these previous levels here. So at this point, this looks bullish. It is a bit of a range because for the last, since September 6th here, it's been within this range. So right now, there are two kind of takes on the euro. So euro is not as bullish as British pound is at the moment. So euro is weaker compared to the British pound. That's why the euro pound move, we have been seeing the euro pound drop. So here, couple of things. One, a couple of scenarios we can look at. One is that we could expect a move to the upside, but this candle here is not as strong. So because of that, I would be cautious with this one. So this is one scenario that it goes to the top of the range, and then we see this type of a move. So pullback, push to the top of the range into 1.20 30 level, and then a drop. So basically we're looking at a range bound trade in that case. The second option could be that it comes back to test the lows here, breaks below, and then does one of these, right? So that will be the second scenario that we are going to look at. Now, there is data coming out in the London session that will have an impact. What Draghi says will have an impact. Today, Draghi's speech did not have that much of an impact on euro. Price was holding above, prior to Draghi, price was kind of holding the range. However, after his speech, nothing happened till British pound took up, and this got pulled with that. So if British pound goes up, this is likely to go up as well. So just keep that in mind. But this is where we are, and we could just hit a resistance right there. So that's something. Excuse me, something to be kept in mind. If the price does not break this 1.1950 level, then we may not get all the move back all the way up here, and this inefficiency may not get filled. But once the price breaks this level and continues on higher, then we could see price go up like that. So I will be looking for both the scenarios. Just keep that in mind that if it doesn't break this 1950 level, we could see it come all the way down to test the same levels once again. So that's euro. British pound, excuse me, sorry. British pound here looks quite bullish at the moment. So we're looking for a further move up, and we may see the price even go and test the highs into 1.3650 level. Very, very bullish close for the day. So this definitely looks more bullish than the euro does. So in this case, the type of move that I'd be watching for would be pull back into the pivot and then move back up. That will be the likely move that I would look for. Of course, whatever Prime Minister Theresa May says tomorrow, that will have an impact on this, positive or negative. Aussie dollar here, RBA wasn't that good for Australian dollar. We have had a big drop here. I am looking for another move to the downside. The target in this would be 0.7865. And in terms of pullbacks, we could see a pullback into this level or slightly higher into this pivot point level. So that's kind of what I'm expecting, pullback into 79.60-ish level and then a drop further. So overall bias is to the downside, and I'm looking for a move into 0.7865. New Zealand dollar. This one, I'm looking for a further move to the downside. This is probably one of the safer ones to take at this point. Not necessarily holding over the weekend, but just for today, because we have a nice engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle, big pin on the top here. So looking for a further move to the downside. And both of these, Aussie and New Zealand, are aligned. They're both moving in the same direction, and they're moving to the downside. So this one here, looking at price to come back into 72.50 level here. So looking for a drop in this one. And if we take a look, price is already below the pivot point. So I was actually looking for a push up into 73.40 level and then a drop. So it doesn't look like it's going to go there. So we haven't even seen a pullback, but in the London, we could get a pullback. But I am looking for a further drop in this towards 72.50 as the first target, and then 7,200 as the second target. So 0.7200 as second target, 0.7250 as the first target here. So looking for a move to the downside in New Zealand US dollar. So that looks bearish. Dollar CAD here, this has been kind of interesting, hasn't really done a whole lot. We have a gravestone doji here. Indecision candle, not much going on. So we have rejection of the top here, but price hasn't quite, so that's kind of where we are in terms of support resistance level. Price is reacting, but it's very unconvincing as to where this wants to go. So this is what we have. Price went up on Fed, and now it's just going sideways. So it doesn't look hugely bullish at this point. This is very neutral. So in this case, if it doesn't break above this 123.93 level, so about 2400, if it stays below the 2400 level, the best ideal situation would be it goes and does a test of 1.2400, and then we can look for a short. Like that would be really nice. We could get a short in here. So that's the type of move I would like to see in that. Right now, in terms of the daily close, very, very neutral close for the day. But it doesn't look very bullish. That means it could drop. Euro pound here. Euro pound has had nice drop. So we had a big move, pullback, nice drop. We had drop today, looking for the move to continue to the downside. We are into the support level where it bounced off of earlier. So that's something to keep in mind, but I am looking for price to push down into 87.50 level. So looking at our 1 hour, so in terms of pullback here, let's take a look. So we could get one of these. That's something to keep in mind. Or we could just see pullback into this pivot point level here and then a drop. So this, if it only does this, then we are certainly looking for a further move to the downside. So overall, this looks bearish and looking for a continuation into 0.8750. Euro Swiss, very bullish. Price has broken above here. So now we are looking at further move to the upside here, and that's quite far. So let's see if we can find an in-between target. Yeah, so we are all the way into this inefficiency fill. So we could continue higher here, because if you take a look at it, this is the inefficiency we're looking at, and there's nothing really here till the inefficiency gets filled. So this could continue on all the way in the long term. It could go all the way up here and fill the inefficiency into 1.2100. But for now, this is bullish, and we're looking for a move to the upside. Sorry, my mouse got bumped, and here we go. Yeah, so for now, we're looking for further move to the upside into 1.1639, but it's hard to find the targets here because I think it's going to continue up higher. Pound Swiss here, daily close, we have broken the high. So see how this happened. So this is what British pound is doing right now. So it's holding the previous lows here, and it's going up higher. Pound Swiss did that, had a nice bullish close, and then closed up higher. Now we're looking for a further move to the upside in this one, and the target is 1.3250 level here. So that's what we're looking for, a further move to the upside. Above that, the next target is not that far, 132.93. So I think we could just go there directly. So pound Swiss definitely looks bullish. So looking for price to go up higher into, actually, we should put that in, into Okay. So 32.50 and then 32.93, so about 1.3300. So those are the two targets to the upside. Looks very bullish at the moment. Pound, so that was not my best chart there. This is pound yen. Pound yen, same thing, very bullish close for the day, looking for a further move up into 153.30 level. And beyond that, we're looking at 154.20 level. So looking for a further move to the upside here. Now the upset with British pound could be Brexit negotiations. If something comes out and they're not, they start kind of squabbling, that could cause a problem and that could change the direction of British pound. But for now, British pound is very positive. So euro yen, big bullish close. This is what we talked about yesterday. If the price does not pull below this 133.20 level, it's likely to go higher. So it has given us a bullish close. So now we're looking for a further move to the upside. So we had President Trump come and talk about, there was some talk of some sanctions and stuff on North Korea. So market sort of had a very mild reaction to that and then kind of realigned to where it was going. So for now we are bullish and we're looking at 136.00 as the next target to the upside. This looks very bullish, holding the previous highs, so looking for a further move to the upside. Aussie yen here, because of Australian dollar, this is bearish. So we're looking for a further move to the downside. The target would be 88.50 right over here. Dollar yen, what's going on to my yen charts, my US dollar charts? Okay, Euro Aussie here, very bullish move here. Looking for further move to the upside, 151.75 level, which is this target up here, Euro Aussie. So that looks bullish because Australian dollar is weak. Euro has been holding its levels because British pound is going up, so Euro has been tagging along. So overall, this is a bullish. CAD yen, oops. Okay, CAD yen is bullish, but it's not as strong because overall the commodity currencies are not very strong. So this one is bullish. We are looking for a further move up into 91.60, but this is weaker compared to pound yen or dollar yen. So I would suggest maybe looking at those pairs. This one could weaken if the commodity currencies keep dropping. This one could weaken further. So keep that in mind. So that's all I have. Any questions or anything to add? All right, so we'll call it a wrap. Tomorrow we'll have our webinar at 9:30 in the morning. Keep that in mind. So I'll see you guys in the morning then. Bye for now.